Hi, I'm Aoife Devitt and welcome to 50Faces TV. In this series, in which we feature individuals with portfolio careers, we're delighted to be joined by Grainne Dooley, who has a non-executive director career and she's based in Dublin. Welcome, Grainne. Thanks for joining us here.
Thank you very much, Aoife, and thank you for having me.
So you previously held a role as Director of Fixed Income and you have an extensive career in fixed income and bonds. Can you tell us a little bit about how you transitioned then into building your portfolio career?
Yeah, so I have 25 years or over 25 years in financial services experience, both on the buy side and the sell side. Laterally on the buy side, I was a fixed income portfolio manager at Pioneer Investments from 2006 to 2017. And then I spent 2 years at a London-based startup that were designing software for an institutional asset manager. I came home to Ireland during COVID. And at that time, in the middle of 2020, the Central Bank of Ireland had actually issued a consultation paper, CP86, around fund management companies and their oversight of delegates. And a couple of points that came out of that was that the central bank observed the boards of a lot of investment funds lacked diversity, and also the boards lacked people with investment management experience. And given I had both, I ticked the boxes as a female, and I decided that this looked like an interesting opportunity set for me to pursue, and so I went about it. And in Ireland, it still is a somewhat informal network. So it really is about building your contacts and building your network. And interestingly, because I was doing it through COVID, people were very, very receptive about just having a 25-minute Teams call. So it ended up I was able to probably build that network more rapidly than if it hadn't been through COVID.
And in your experience so far as both chair and non-executive director, what do you think makes an effective director or chair in your view?
I think I would probably break it down into two things. So I think there's some general qualities that a person can bring to the board that make them an effective board member. I mean, first, stating the obvious, I think you need to have the relevant expertise. I think being independently minded so you can challenge and support are important. I think being a good listener is also very, very important. And then I think there are specific qualities that really come with depending on what the type of board it is. And boards can be very, very different. Some boards can be very busy, others not so much. So I think particularly where a board and the underlying business is busy with a lot of strategy, it can be hard to have more, say, timely board papers ready. And therefore, it's really important that as an individual, as a non-executive director, a member of the board, but also then working with your fellow board members to find a way to ensure that you are kept up to date with what is happening throughout the period between boards. And if that means calling ad hoc meetings for the collective board or for you as an individual with various members of the board, of the executive committee or the executive team, I think then that's equally valid. But I think that probably means that there's another set of qualities that that are needed, and they're particularly around being able to build relationships and making sure that you're not becoming too involved, but you basically want to make sure that what is being brought to the board is what's relevant for the business.
And in looking around you at the fast-paced changes that we're seeing in regulation, how do you think the liabilities and roles of directors are evolving?
I mean, I think we're still very early days on this ESG journey, and I think for me it's clear that this is the direction of travel. I think sustainable finance is not going away, but actually we will over time break it down into the E, the S, and the G. And if you actually look at on the G side, a lot of work has already been done, and I think governance has improved dramatically over the last 10 years, not just within financial services, but just more generally. I think on the sustainable finance side, I joined boards as the SFDR regulation was coming into effect in Europe, and it hasn't been easy. And that path is going to continue to be, to be fraught with difficulty. And a lot of people have talked about the problems already. There's a lack of data. There's a lack of standardization. There's probably an issue around sequencing. But all of these issues, I think, can be dealt with and will be dealt with. And I think it behooves everybody in the industry to make sure that the momentum continues in this direction. And whilst last year there were outflows out of ESG products globally, in Europe the momentum is still positive, and Europe is at the forefront of this. And I think it's also worth pointing out that SFDR is probably one of the first regulations that have actually come in where the regulator is ahead of where the industry is. And we have not seen that before. So I think, again, if members of the industry, myself included being on boards, can actually help the regulator to engineer what will be good regulation for the industry, then we will continue on this. We will continue on this path, and it will end up being, it is the direction of travel.
Would you have any advice for individuals seeking to go about this, maybe in terms of managing their expectations?
For me personally, it has been, and it's challenging, and it is rewarding. I think, as I said, when I came on board, the central bank here, and I have to applaud them for this. I mean, they did call out the fact that there was not a lot of diversity on boards, in particularly in the investment fund space. And my observation over my career in investment management has been that that women are underrepresented, and they're particularly underrepresented at the investment management level. And that's something that I would really, really like to see more of. I'd like to see more women in portfolio management roles, and I think ultimately, that would lead to a better. Ultimately a more sustainable financial future for all of us. I think the stats around women investment managers suggest that we tend to be better long-term investors, and I think that's a good starting point for sustainable finance, because it is about taking a long-term view.
Well, thank you so much, Grainne. Thank you for joining us on 50 Faces TV. Great to see you.
Thank you for having me, Aoife.
I'm Aoife Devitt. Thank you for watching 50 Faces TV. See you next time.